We're here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the second annual Battle on the Bricks. Have an amazing technical development here being unleashed, revealed by Bosch, an official partner of IMSA, Bryan Herta Autosport, and the amazing Robert Wickens, defending IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge TCR champion, along with young Harry Gottsacker. It's a brand new system developed by Bosch, replacing the previous one. It is so much faster, so much more accurate. Robbie's going to take us inside this car, show us what's different from the cockpit first, then we're going to move around and see a lot more about this amazing Hyundai Elantra N TCR.
Okay, so the one thing we didn't really want to redesign was my brake ring, because it was perfectly fine how it was. So this is pre-existing as it was before, so to any of the people that have seen a tour of the old system, they might think that it looks exactly the same because, well, in fact it is. The one thing that is different was, if we pan down here, Bryan Herta Autosport developed actually a pretty amazing, there's two master cylinders like incorporated into the steering column. And those master cylinders are front and rear that feed to the front and rear EBS. And so now I have my entire closed loop braking system. Previously, there was a bunch of linkages that went down to the able-bodied brake pedal. And when I would pull my ring, we would physically pull or push the able-bodied pedal down. And what it did was it created a lot of mechanical friction for Harry when he was driving, because there was a lot of moving parts on his brake pedal. And also for me, there was a lot of, I guess, like slack or potential binding areas. So for me, every time I hit the brake, I never had the exact same brake feel every time I applied the brake. Now that's all eliminated. So now it's a simple pull of the brake. It pushes these master cylinders down, and then the EBS does its magic and produces brake pressure to the calipers, and I slow down the car.
With the Bosch Electronic Braking System, the EBS does indeed manage throttle, brake, also shifting as well, all on that steering wheel. A lot of stuff that can be done here. It's also, amazingly, it's transportable. If Robert, by chance, are able to find an opportunity in the WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, GTP, LMP2, GTD Pro, or GTD, this exact system could go with him in any of those cars and allow him to race.
For me, I'm a selfish racing driver. I want to go as high as I can and as fast as I can, but I think on the bigger picture, trying to create the best systems for the next generations of disabled racing drivers would be a great thing to leave behind. So for us here, this is kind of step one. We're creating something that wasn't used in this capacity previously, and I think it's, I'm really excited to test it through its paces through Indy. We still have a job to do. We still have a championship to fight for. We're second in the points right now, and hopefully 2 wins down the stretch here can get us back in the fight.
Bosch's center console technology is also a critical area of interaction for Robbie inside the car, managing the Bosch EBS system.
Yeah, so down here, we'll turn the ignition on. These 6 buttons are the standard Hyundai Elantra N TCR car: controls, start the engine, fan, lights, etc. This whole added bit on top is my Bosch brake system. So as you see here, there's foot and hand. So in the driver change, when Harry is getting in or out of the car, he'll flip that up to foot, and then the car will just be as he normally remembers it. It uses the normal brake master cylinders, his throttle pedal. Flip it down for me, the throttle pedal's dead. The brake pedal's still active, but although I can't use it, it's not relative. And then the hand controls come up top, and my throttle will be transitioned to the back side here. These rotaries, the blue is a gain switch, which frankly just helps with more or less assistance from the system. Maybe I'm getting a little fatigued and I want a little more help from the EBS. I can just turn up the knob and do it that way, and then vice versa. So the red knob is inactive. It'll probably end up being screen brightness or something of that magnitude, but at the moment it's not doing anything. And these are just some fuses. In case there's failures, I can reset the system from there. These 4 buttons, this is basically to override, to arm or disarm the system. The system will automatically become active once there's motion in the car. So statically, the system is always off just because it draws quite a bit of electricity, and for the health of the car and everything, you don't want it running all the time. Check mark, inactive. We're trying to find a use for it because I love having use for everything. And then B up, B down, that's quite simple. It's just brake bias. Brake bias up and brake bias down. So
Bosch's new data display is something that Robbie absolutely loves. Gives him peace of mind. It's something the mechanics can also use to look at a variety of data while they're preparing the car. But moreover, safety is a big area. Information display, information coming to Robbie to help him while he's driving.
yeah, so this is the Bosch DDU11. It's frankly, it's just entirely for the braking system, the health of it, how it's all going. Obviously, from a driving standpoint, once the car starts moving and there's wheel speed, the whole screen goes off. You know, I didn't really want to see stuff in my peripheral vision like flashing at me all the
You
time.
want to focus forward.
Exactly. So we opted just to have it, frankly, blank. But any input I make, whether if it's a brake bias change or whatever, the screen will illuminate, and I just get my brake bias, and then it goes away. This is the mechanics page, so you can see, you know, the hand master cylinder, the foot master cylinder, the caliper pressures, obviously brake bias, the gain, the EBS setting, which is the red, which is just nothing. And then if you hear, this is the mechanic override once you're static. So now it's forced active, but because, yeah, we're still in the middle of bleeding brakes, so there's no rear at the moment. But when you apply the brake, you can see the caliper pressures down here. Yeah, that's
Phenomenal information that you're armed with.
pretty much it. Yeah, and then lots of notifications if things aren't going as they should. But yeah, it's great peace of mind for me knowing that if something isn't working as it should, I can be notified with some time to spare.
Now let's take a look at the heart of Bosch's electronic braking system. So Robbie, here in the passenger side, we have really important machinery here. EBS, Bosch Electronic Braking System. There's a lot of power and force going on. Tell us what we're looking at.
Yeah, I mean, so it's a much more compact, pretty system than to what we had in the past, and it's the braking technology from the rear axle of GTP, but just in a simplicity term ×2. So I have it on front and rear axle, and we're not using it in the brake-by-wire capabilities that it's used in GTP.
Before Bryan Herta Autosport and Robert Wickens got to this weekend's Battle on the Bricks at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, an ample amount of testing has been done, really working out and refining the Bosch electronic braking system. A lot of engineers from Bosch right there on hand to make sure everything is nice and refined, all done here at a local road course.
Early this spring, I think it was right before Laguna, it did its first shakedown.
Yep, brother.
In the
WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. We were keeping that all quiet, but we were excited to hear things are getting in motion.
It was. So we were able to, you know, put it through its paces in a straight line test for its just prior to that, and then throughout the summer, it's been a constant evolution. And in the past month, we've done 3 successful days at Putnam Park, just outside of Indianapolis here, and it feels great. And you know, there's another component here. It's called the brake feel simulator. But it's effectively, with the electric system, I'm not pushing a hydraulic pedal, so I'm not getting that hydraulic feel like you normally would. So it's basically, there's a front and rear and like a black tube there. And that's, for lack of a better word, it's 2 springs that is giving me the feel of what I want. So if you think about your simulators at home or DIL, like driver in loop simulators for GTP cars, it's basically the exact same thing, but just here in reality. So it's really cool. I'm excited to really see it in anger. I haven't driven on track with other people yet, but that's probably what I'm most excited for. There's like 0 latency. It's when I apply the brake, I have the brake, I get everything I want as I want it. So hopefully it's going to be a big breakthrough for me. Hopefully it can lead to a lot more opportunities again in the future.
And what better place to introduce a fine piece of high technology than the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, dating all the way back to its first race in 1911. This house of speed, this beloved grounds here in America, So much automotive and motor racing technology has debuted, been developed, been used in road cars throughout the world. What better place to introduce this new Bosch Electronic Braking System, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
You know, hometown race for me, so I'm lucky enough in IMSA to get 2 hometown events, CTMP in here, and it's gonna be a lot of friends and family. It's always gonna be a great show. Racing at Indy's, doesn't matter if it's the marquee event of the Indianapolis 500 or a track day. Anytime you go under that tunnel and enter the IMS, it's a different feeling. So it's always going to be a good one.
Make sure you follow along with us on IMSA's official YouTube channel and follow IMSA Racing on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X. We're going to be doing some pretty cool stuff with some pretty cool people with some pretty cool race cars. Visit IMSA.com to hear the action called live and download the official IMSA app to follow the timing and scoring information as the sessions take place.